All right, we're going to talk a little bit about ADHD and memory from the Your Brain on Food blog. So, when you have ADHD, the connections between different regions of the brain are disrupted, specifically between the prefrontal cortex, the thinking brain, and the striatum, the part of the brain that deals with reward behaviors. Additionally, your brain chemistry is affected, particularly your levels of dopamine, the brain's reward chemical, and noradrenaline, a fight or flight hormone. Larger molecules such as dopamine and noradrenaline cannot cross the blood-brain barrier, which means that they are confined solely to your brain. But they are made of precursor molecules, which are building blocks that can cross the blood-brain barrier. And where are these precursor molecules made? You guessed it, it is in the gut, because again, gut-brain connection is a whole thing. There's also well-established link between ADHD and gluten intolerance or celiac disease, so keep that in mind. If you're a person that does have ADHD and you haven't tried cutting out gluten yet, there is such a thing as non-celiac gluten sensitivity. I am one of those individuals where if I eat gluten, my immune system really kicks out, but it's not to the point of celiac disease. So that is a thing that a lot of people actually probably deal with that don't know. Before diving into specific nutrients, it's worth noting that research has shown that overall diet intervention has been effective at helping those that have ADHD. So it's important to eat healthy over a broad spectrum of food, not just like these specific foods. Breakfast is also going to be a really important meal. It's for everyone because you want to make sure that you're adequately fueled to jumpstart your body and your brain. But for ADHD people, stimulants can take a toll on appetite. So being hungry in the morning may not be a given. It's often found that creating a routine around breakfast can be really, really helpful with people that have ADHD. So your little cheat sheet here, and it kind of is like also with depression as well. So as with depression, the Mediterranean eating pattern is great for overall diet to follow for improving ADHD symptoms. The foods to embrace: breakfast. Again, it's important for ADHD sufferers to get the day started right. So try starting with a smoothie or something, a banana, anything before you have your caffeine. Speaking of caffeine, while it can be beneficial to ADHD, keep consumption under 400 milligrams a day. You got polyphenols, which is going to be berries, cherries, eggplant, onions, kale, coffee, and green tea, vitamin C and vitamin B1, minerals like zinc, iron, potassium, and magnesium. Now, foods to avoid are going to be gluten. If you have celiac disease or non-celiac gluten sensitivity, avoid all wheat products such as bread, pizza, pasta, and many alcoholic drinks. Dairy, specifically A1 milk caseins, they do have different ones. You can drink and cook with products made from A2 milk, which is different. So you can look for that. That's going to be probably found in a health food store, A1 versus A2. A nut milk or goat or sheep's milk, because a lot of people that are cow dairy unfriendly are sheep goat milk friendly. Again, I am also one of those individuals. I cannot do cow's milk. I cannot do cow dairy, but I can do goat cheese. I can do sheep cheese. And I do nut milks because that sounds weird to just kind of be drinking goat milk to me. So, anyways, sugar. While sugar is unfairly vilified as a cause of ADHD, it's still best to limit intake. Avoid baked goods, candy, soda, or anything sweetened with sugar or high fructose corn syrup. Food colorings and additives is another one you want to avoid. Colorings and additives can be eliminated by following diets such as the Phenegold diet or the few foods diet if ADHD symptoms don't respond to less radical diet changes. Next one is memory. So, like I said, this video is going to be about ADHD and memory. So given that your gut remembers, it should come as no surprise that it works hand in hand with your brain's memory systems. The key to that connection lies in the chemicals that make your brain and body function, many of which are regulated by your gut. For example, the stress hormone cortisol can disrupt your ability to recall long-term memories. And as we've covered before, your gut bacteria affect blood cortisol levels by regulating the HPA axis, the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, it's HPA. And that means that the wrong balance of gut bacteria can lead to a spike in cortisol, which can in turn damper your ability to recall memories. So if you're really, really brain foggy, high fat and high glycemic index or high GI foods can alter brain pathways necessary for learning and memory, with neurons in the hippocampus and prefrontal cortex especially affected. In addition to these direct effects on the brain, the Western diet compromises the blood-brain barrier, which is tasked with keeping toxic substances out of the brain. The MIND diet, and MIND stands for Mediterranean Intervention for Neurodegenerative Delay, it's MIND, has been shown to be effective at reversing and protecting against cognitive decline and Alzheimer's disease. So a little bit more into that MIND diet. There are foods and their optimal MIND score serving sizes. So you want to stick with green leafy vegetables like kale, collards, regular greens, spinach, lettuce, tossed salad. You want 6 or more servings a week. Other vegetables like green red peppers, squash, carrots, broccoli, celery, potatoes, peas or lima beans, tomatoes, tomato sauce, string beans, beets, corn, zucchini, summer squash, eggplant, 1 or more servings a day. Berries, strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, 2 or more servings per week. Nuts, 5 or more servings per week. Olive oil, use olive oil as your primary oil, or avocado. Whole grains, 3 or more servings per day. Fish, not fried, particularly high in omega-3s, such as salmon, 1 or more per week. Beans, like lentils, soybeans, and other beans, you want more than 3 meals per week to include them. Poultry, like chicken or turkey, you want 2 or more meals per week. Wine, 1 glass per day. It's important to note that 1 glass of wine per day did result in a higher MIND score than any more, any less. And with that, that means good. So if you like your glass of red wine, that's fine. Drink it. Just make sure it's good quality. You don't want to be drinking crap quality wine. So your memory cheat sheet. MIND diet is the most comprehensive eating plan for ensuring a healthy memory. Eat green leafy vegetables, colorful veggies, berries, nuts, olive oil, whole grains, fish, beans, poultry, and drink red wine. Foods and strategies to embrace for memory. Depending upon can be calorie restriction, but make sure you work with your doctor to make a plan to reduce total calorie intake by about 25%. This is a last resort thing. Please do not go off the bat to calorie restriction. We are not looking for more disordered eating behaviors. Alcohol, don't abstain totally. Like I said, that 1 glass of red wine is fine. Coffee can be beneficial, but again, under 400 milligrams a day. Olive oil is protective, especially when used in like sofrito preparation and things like that. Herbs and spices like turmeric, black pepper, cinnamon, saffron, rosemary, ginger, sage. For brain fog, you're going to want luteolin-rich foods like juniper berries, fresh peppermint, sage, thyme, hot and sweet peppers, radicchio, celery seeds, parsley, artichokes, and dried Mexican oregano. PS-containing foods, which are white beans, eggs, and dairy. Then you have acetylcholine-rich foods like beef liver and egg yolks are also going to be on there for brain fog. Foods to avoid. Of course, I'm going to say this because you should know already. The components of the Western diet. Foods high in bad fats like red meat, fried foods, and high GI carbs, white bread, white rice, potatoes, pasta, and anything else made from refined flour. Gluten, especially if you have celiac or non-celiac gluten sensitivity. Avoid all wheat products such as bread, pizza, pasta, and many alcoholic drinks. If you have any questions on ADHD and memory, feel free to comment below.